everybody. Welcome along to the Monkey Barrel Comedy Chat Show. Welcome along. I'm your host, George Fox, and this week we have a wonderful, wonderful guest, the wonderful Sam Lay.
Hi, hello. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. This, of course, is a kind of favor back where I appeared on your wonderful podcast, which is... I've had a rosé. Let's talk about feelings.
It is that
with Sam Lake. Although on my episode it was we've drank Club Orange. And let's talk about horror movies.
Yeah, which
lovely
was chat.
Really good fun. I had a great time on it. It was literally right here, but your podcast a lot more chill. There's a couch.
I get you. We sit you down. We didn't booze you up.
No,
but sometimes we booze people up.
Oh, I would love to.
And then we get them talking. And we make people cry.
Yeah, I'm worried about that, getting boozed up. I mean, have you had Ryan Cullen on that yet?
No.
I feel like you could make him cry. I feel like a couple of drinks into Ryan, he'll just be like...
Well.
Easy now. We're early in this stream.
There's, I won't. Let's just say, I won't.
Okay, all right, you are good.
Oh, okay. We may have seen some people who may have been out watching a certain football match.
Oh, yeah?
Last night.
Oh, really?
And whilst they were watching that football match to pass the time in between the 5 goals that were scored against Scotland,
yeah,
they may have had a drink or several, and they may have turned up at some point last night when we were here doing the shows, and they may have been able to stand. And you know what? That's great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, you should have done the podcast right there and right then. Sit down, let's do it.
Vox pop it on the street. Yeah.
I've had a binge-worthy amount of alcohol and I'm ready to cry. That's the name of the podcast for you. So yeah, how would you describe the podcast for people who haven't seen it? Like, it's very fun. It's very silly. I've watched a few episodes where you have like great guests on. Everyone you do a great job of helping people open up. I do the opposite. I make people close down.
I had to. No, you were very open. I had to close you off, if anything.
I know.
You were sharing too much. Yeah. So every guest comes on, they choose a little drink, and that's the thing to sort of get them sort of just like settled and comfortable.
Yeah, it felt comfy.
And then we talk about something that they're passionate about, and I try and ask them questions about how that connects with their feelings or how they deal with emotions. And the show's called I've Had a Rosé, Let's Talk About Feelings, because when I had the idea for the show, I was having a rosé and I was feeling emotional because it was in 2020 and it was the first time that I could go to a bar and see friends that I'd not seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And we were so happy to be together, and I'd had too much rosé. I was just like, I feel like I could just cry. Which is a lovely thing to say when you're with close friends.
The rule is don't come up with a podcast idea when you're with close friends. Like I saw my best friend yesterday, was visiting Edinburgh and hadn't seen him in like 6 months. And like today I'm like, my mental health is perfect and will never be bad again. But quickly a week from now I'll be like, oh, okay. So I'm not writing any podcasts right now. Not coming up with any concepts. So for people who haven't seen your comedy, how would you describe it? Like, I say more, what's the vibe? What's the flavor of your comedy that you would suggest to people?
Have you ever found someone so funny that you could just come?
Not yet, but the journey continues. I mean, I'm always looking for it.
Okay.
Always on the lookout.
I don't know. I guess I'm just quite pleasant then. The thing that people...
One extreme to the other.
I'm either getting it hard and wet, or I'll leave it where it is. Let's just have a nice chat.
Oh my God, your flyers are like, what? How do we pitch the show? Well, you go to
what
people.
What do we tell people?
You say, hey, would you like to come or have a nice giggle?
Yeah.
You can have either or both.
Or both, preferably one or the other. Both would be a lot.
Those are the only two options.
Lots of times when I get like I get reviews or people tell me what they thought of this when I get unsolicited feedback. They just go like, oh, I was laughing along with you, but it almost felt like we were having a conversation.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's probably like the closest way to describe it. It's like, it feels like I'm doing all of the talking, but it is a conversation. Which,
I mean, I have friends that are like that already, that just walk in somewhere and you're like, oh, you're just having the whole conversation by yourself. All right.
Yeah, sometimes other people get in the way.
Yeah, I guess we're ignoring all of my problems, but okay.
No, we can talk about your problems.
No, not right now, but when I'm out with friends and they're just talking about all their stuff and I'm like, this is a Fringe show right now. And I feel like there's not going to be a big end, a big finish to this. It's just going
There's
to go on.
two things we don't need: more podcasts, more Fringe shows. Neither.
So we're here for this podcast to talk about your Fringe show. We'll mention that later on.
Okay.
You've done lots of different things. You did. You were won the Leicester Square Theatre's New Comedian of the Year award, which is a big award to win in comedy. For people that don't know,
and the year that I won it is not relevant. It does not matter. No need to look it up.
Let's not look it up. No further questions.
No, I won it, and that's all you need to know.
And then I know you did something for Lad Bible, which immediately I go, huh? But it was actually a good thing. You did a thing for Coming Out Day. We talked on that, which was a lot of fun.
I talked to a friend about my 10 favourite rant boys that I've chained to a radiator.
Wow, that laugh did not want to come out.
No, it was about international coming out. I forgot that I did that. It was me. They got me and my friend Steve. Hi, Steve. We were. They got us to walk around a park in High Wycombe, and I was talking to, because Steve was one of the first people that I came out to, and so we were just having. They just filmed us having a conversation about that. And that was nice. Well, it was very weird because it was a friend that I've had for years.
Yeah.
So it was so weird someone just filming us being like, just have a normal conversation. It was that thing of when the camera's on and being like, well, I can't because you're here.
It's what people behind like filming stuff always do. Like, just seem real natural. And you're like, this is not normal and natural.
And it was, and we were not used to being in front of the camera, so they really had to sort of like, get like, why don't you do this more now? Why don't you just sort of rest your hand on the bench? And I was just like, this is weird. And the other people they got to do it were much more au fait with it, because I think they got like a power lesbian social influencer couple.
Yeah. And then they were like, we're going to rock this.
They were ready to go. They actually rigged the lighting system themselves. They knew what they wanted and they got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's down lighting, but also a bounce mat to bring the light back up towards them. They know what they're doing.
They know.
I remember they did one in Ireland, which everyone in Ireland cried at, where they got a Dublin bus and it was done with pride colours, and they got like young people on the bus, but what they did was they drove around, they picked up like older people who were gay and brought them to pride on the bus, and the bus drove in the float. But having the young people and the old people, and one of them is like a guy who used to be on like a kids' TV show in Ireland with a little puppet called Bosco. And he gets brought along and he's just like crying. He's like, oh, so great to see all these people just being open and excited. And this was something I had to hide when I worked on TV. So everyone had grown up watching him, watch that advert, and just tears, just buckets of tears coming off people's faces.
Wait, did you say he was a puppet?
No, he was on the show with the puppets. So the puppet was Bosco. Okay. And it lived in a little box with a big B on it. And they would do a thing where, obviously, they'd come up with this thing for the kids' show where you'd go to the magic door, you'd knock on the magic door. It's like, knock, knock, magic door, knock, knock once more, let's see what's on the other side. And clearly their plan was to go and film loads of different things. Every time they go through the magic door, it'd be different.
Yeah.
But they clearly just filmed one weekend in Dublin Zoo. And so it was always just Dublin Zoo.
Okay.
You'd knock on the door and it would open. It's like, oh, no, it's the Capuchin monkeys. And you're like, for fuck's sake, is it ever not going to be Dublin Zoo? Like,
isn't that what like Teletubbies was? There'd be a random bit where the little carousel would pop up and show you a film, and it was always just kids at a playground.
Yeah. And they'd just be talking about feelings, and you'd be like, okay.
Who's giving you all of this wine?
And there's someone behind the camera would be like, just act natural, put your hand here.
Just act natural. Yeah, we got the lesbians after this. Dipsy and Poe.
But yeah. But this Bosco was like years before Teletubbies.
I thought you were telling me that a puppet had come out as gay.
I mean,
which I don't know if that's happened.
I'm trying to figure out, has that ever happened? Is that because I know people try to claim that the Babadook and the clown from It are gay icons.
Well, there isn't the Babadook. That's just because on Netflix they accidentally put that film in the LGBTQ plus category.
That's right. And people just kind of ran
and they were just like, if you say so.
Which I like. But I mean, there should be like more characters. If you had to pick one puppet from history, who would you pick to come out?
I've thought about this a lot. Who? I'm thinking a Sesame Street.
Okay.
But not Bert and Ernie, because I feel like they've had their chance with them.
Yeah.
And it'd be weird to make one of them gay and not the other one.
Well, recently, the guy that originally wrote for them came out and said, I just wrote it about me and my husband. Like, that was our dynamic. So I was like, I wish someone had said this at any point in the last 40 years.
Maybe the Cookie Monster?
Yeah.
And then he can just be ravenous for... ... You
only have to change...
fill in the blank.
You only have to change one letter. The Cocky Monster. There we go. I had to walk you home through that one.
I just sort of forgot, like, what being gay is. I was just
I went the wrong direction. I was like, oh, he's mad for cock. And you're like, no, he just
it
loves
was so
his husband.
hard telling my mum that I just really like biscuits.
Are you sure you're not just hungry? No, Mom. I know. Okay, so something we do on this podcast to settle in our guests is we have a thing called the Instagram deep dive, or the social media time machine, where we jump back in time to look at a picture from your past. So we're going to bring that up on screen right now. So for people...
Oh.
I think this is the best picture we've had yet. For people listening on Spotify or listening wherever they listen to audio podcasts, how would you describe what we're seeing right now?
I am looking at myself holding up one of my bountiful jugs, sort of cupping it from underneath. And I'm sticking out my tongue as if to say, I'm going to milk myself into my own mouth. Yes, I am doing this in a public setting. I believe that was a Jimmy's World buffet. And me and my husband had never been there before. So I thought, why not? Why not make it a special occasion?
I mean, I feel like we're going to get the most amount of people transitioning over from the audio podcast to the video, just to be like, I need to see if this is real.
See the jugs.
Is this real?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I don't. My tongue kind of looks like it's been
I think
forked.
I think that's maybe
forked tongue.
I think that's maybe your lip on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side. I think your lip is sticking out, maybe.
I don't know. Hang on.
Or you've got a forked tongue and you've never noticed it before.
I don't think my tongue can do that anymore. It just comes out just flat into the front.
I think it's one of the things of COVID. If you got COVID, your tongue doesn't fork anymore.
You can't milk your own teeth.
You can't milk your own teeth anymore, which is terrible. Long COVID, eh?
Ugh.
Long COVID, short tongue.
Yeah.
Right?
Tell me about it.
So this was in a buffet place. Do you like a nice world buffet?
I used to love an all-you-can-eat buffet, but since COVID,
yeah,
I would accept a bit of sort of like, you know, some bacteria where it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
but then COVID hit, and then it was like,
this is really disgusting. Yeah,
but I love a buffet.
Great.
There was a buffet somewhere here in Edinburgh. Can't remember what it was called. It was an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet. And you know, normally at a buffet, the pudding bit is sort of just like jelly cubes.
Yeah.
Jelly cubes or ice cream in vanilla. No other flavours exist.
Yeah.
I went to this buffet and they had macarons.
Oh, macaron.
If you go in, eat macarons.
Yeah, if you go in, you see that, you know, this is a good buffet. That's like the test. There was one in Edinburgh when I first came over here called China Red, and they had a, you know, like in Yo Sushi, they have the little travelator thing. The conveyor belt, that's the word I was looking for. Conveyor belts. Travelators.
You have to run up it to get one sashimi at the top.
On my first whistle, you can grab the macaroons. But it would come around constantly, and because it was all you can eat, at any point you could just see something and go, yep, that as well. And it felt like going to like Yo Sushi and just going crazy and just eating as much as you want, grabbing stuff off.
Can I be bold and vulnerable on this podcast? I've never been to Yo Sushi.
Really?
No, never.
It's nice.
I'm not huge on sushi. The only thing I like is whatever it's called, where it's just this salmon on top of the rice.
Yeah, is it nigiri? I think it is. It's salmon nigiri. I think it's a little bit of salmon and it's on top of the rice. Yeah, I think it's that.
I can deal with that, but I'm not the biggest fan of the taste of seaweed.
You should try takoyaki, which is becoming more and more popular here in Edinburgh. Takoyaki is little bits of octopus.
In a ball, in like a batter ball. I've had that.
That's great.
That's lovely.
It's amazing. It's got like mayo and stuff inside of it. That's apparently the most popular street food in Tokyo, I think. And you can see why. It's damn good.
I suppose they have access to a lot of squid.
Yeah.
So that's nice for
They've
them.
worked it out. We're trying in Edinburgh. We're slowly building up more and more
Yeah.
octopuses.
We have access to a lot of batter, so
Oh, yes.
we're using the
sorted.
resources we have. Yeah,
And those are mostly batter with a tiny bit of octopus.
tiny
so
little bit of.
just a tiny little.
It's going to shorten it to puss. I don't think people do that.
So do you remember what you ate on this occasion? Everything.
It's Jimmy's World Buffet. I do remember doing a round of all of the saucy things.
Yeah.
Saucy things, no carbs, which was a mistake. So I got like a curry, and then I got like a sweet and sour
Filled
chicken.
up on those.
Yeah, what? Yeah, why? What is this? What is this
you
judgment?
Pace yourself out. You start small, then you go big, then small
No,
again.
you have to. Much like when you go. Sorry, I'm so sorry. You know, like when you go
You
into.
just punched my poster of my face now. I can't believe this.
I
Slammed her.
apologize. I think when you go into an all-you-can-eat buffet, you have to accept, much like when you go into a casino,
Yeah.
the house is against you.
That's true.
You go in, they give you a tiny plate,
So small.
but your mind eventually goes like, that's just the size of a normal plate.
I'll just pile
And then
high.
you've put, so much of it's like, I'll tell you something fun that I learned recently.
Yes.
Because right now I'm enjoying a delicious protein water.
Ooh. Protein water. Is that our branded? Are we selling that?
No, that's why I just called it protein water.
Protein water.
Protein water, get gains, and have a wee afterwards. There used to be a thing of like people doing like juice cleanses and stuff.
Oh yeah, they cleanse themselves out.
And like getting all of your nutrients in a day by just like putting fruit and veg in a blender and mixing it up and having it as a
the
juice.
Huel came along at a certain
And they
point
would say,
as well.
that actually can be bad for you. Don't do that. And the reason it's bad for you is because if you drink all of your calories, it doesn't activate the same enzymes in your mouth that it would if you would just like eat all of that
Chewing
food and chew it. The
Yeah.
chewing releases something
Probably
that tells your brain,
chemicals,
that tells your brain that it's hungry.
Yeah.
So if you drink all of your calories, then your brain will just go like, you're not full.
God.
You haven't eaten anything. You just had a big drink of something.
You just drank water.
You just drank water.
That's
You're
all
not
it
full
was.
at all. Have more curry.
So that is how they trick you in the
Yeah, and like they don't let you bring in your own
plate.
trough.
Trough. Wheelbarrow would be great.
Yeah.
There was one in Dublin at one point called, oh God, I don't remember the name. It was Jimmy something as well. But I just remember being there and I was like, this is such a great place. It was like Dublin's first big like buffet place. And I saw somebody take something on their food and then just get bored and just pour it back into the food thing and then walk away. Like they'd taken it all. They hadn't started eating it yet, but then they just went, no. And they just put it back in. And I was like,
That's awful.
that's horrendous.
They need like security.
Well, somebody was there. They walked over and they just mixed it all in. Like, oh, if it's mixed in, it's fine. And I was like, we're leaving immediately.
See, and it's the kind of stuff it happens, but you just don't want to
I don't
know
want to
that
know
it's
about
happening.
it. I don't want to see it. I know I swallow 5 spiders a year.
Yeah.
One of them accidentally. But I don't want to be aware of that. Like,
No.
That's not something you want to wake up and be like,
And also, you're not really swallowing them. They just crawl into your open throat.
oh God. Oh God. Why is that worse?
I thought that would make it better. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. For some reason, I didn't like that. Okay, well, thank you for joining us on that. Our second part of the show that we like to do is a new one we started last week. It's a part of the show that Claire has named, that has been named 2 comedians, 1 cup, in brackets, each.
Okay.
So this is our new part of the show. We've got cup. We're going to do flip cup. On this very unlevel table, we're going to do flip cup, and then what we're going to do is we have a question, and whoever loses has to answer that question. So,
Okay.
So Claire's question, even I don't know what it is.
Oh, fun.
we're gonna
Wait,
put
so
it
what
here.
do I do?
So you put it here. I'll show you now.
Okay.
And for people listening at home, I have a red cup. It's at the edge of the table. I'm going to flip it with my fingertips, and if I can get it landing straight up, like on its the way a cup should be.
Okay.
It's upside down in the corner, so that makes me the winner. So.
Okay.
So this kind of thing. So you just put it back and you go. So we'll do like a countdown, and then it's just keep going until you get it.
Oh,
So,
okay.
All right. So do you want to have a test one?
Yeah, can I just calibrate?
Have a little test
Yeah.
just to calibrate. Good, because
Okay.
last week's guest fired it like out through that curtain into the street. It was no. Have another go. There you go. That's
Okay.
pretty close, pretty close. All
Okay.
right. Here we go, everybody. In 3, 2, 1. Oh, it was so close. This could just go on for 1,000 years. I mean, this is great audio content. We need to... Oh, wow. It's because this table is so...
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. I feel like maybe this is the last time we do this game.
How long did you think it would take?
Last time it took me 2, and I did it on the second one. All right, come on. Hold on, there's got to be a part of the table that's a little bit...
Right.
This is ridiculous. Oh, my God. We're so committed to being the silliest podcast. Does that count? Hold on. Well, I guess it doesn't count. We're going to still keep going. That was interference, everybody. We all saw it. Oh, my God. Okay. What we need to do is we need to put a timer on it and see who gets the most amount in a minute. And then that
this
way...
is content that everyone's Thank God.
Oh, don't pretend you're not livid. Okay, I won, so we've got a question for you.
Okay.
Claire, would you like to shout the question out? I'll turn my mic towards you.
Thank you. What is the most mortifying thing you've ever done drunk?
Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't get this. What is the most mortifying thing you've ever done drunk?
Like makes your skin crawl to think about it.
I don't know. Sorry, I just did a little horse noise and a bunch of protein water flew off my mustache. Put that in slow motion and
Thank you for blessing our microphone. That was a little baptism.
Let's have a little wipe of the muff. What is the most mortifying thing? I don't know. I have been drunk.
It's hard to know because I think at a certain point you start... like, I have friends who would do things while drunk and they'd almost be like, well, that's not canon. That's not part of my story. That's not a canon event.
I'm trying to think of something that isn't, like, factual.
Please, not anything that or any legal... If it hasn't been in court yet, if there's a date coming up, please don't mention it.
Nothing criminal. Oh, my God. Between two consenting adults.
We've had so many guests admit to crimes here. Comedians... usually shoplifting.
I've never stolen. I've never done... I don't think I've ever done a crime. Maybe I jaywalked once.
Once.
What is the most mortifying thing I've ever done? No, I'm such a good boy. The thing that came immediately to mind is sexual, and I don't know if I want to say it. I did something with someone in a place. Is that enough information?
Cookie Monster.
And the mortifying thing is I did it so that I could get a wristband in to see Leona Lewis.
Oh my God. All right. That is...
She wasn't performing anywhere. I broke into a house. No, I'm kidding.
I think one of the worst things I remember doing drunk was I got really, really drunk at a comedy show, and it was like late at night, and they did like a lock-in, and I left, and I went across the street from this bar. It's called Whelan's, and across the street is Eddie Rockets, which is like a 1950s style diner, very popular in Ireland, and they were clearly starting to close up for the night. And, you know, they like their bucket and thing at the front. And I came in, I was like, oh, I'm going to order some food. And like me and my friends were there, and I ordered so much food, and I was so drunk and I felt so well. And I just went to the bathroom and vomited everywhere. Destroyed, like all over the toilet.
You did a big boy chunder.
I did a big boy chunder. Everything I just paid for just came out. But it was like, I thought, oh, this is fine. No one knows. And I came out, and you could see from the look of everyone at the restaurant looking at me that clearly I'd been like shouting while vomiting. Like I'm like, bah! The whole time at the back of the restaurant. And the guy just at the door just went, grabbed the bucket and mop and just went to the back. And I just barely, and it was like a day later when I remembered that, and I remembered his face, and I was like, oh my God.
You remembered his face.
And I'm pretty sure they said, like, you're all okay, because we're about to close up now. And we were like, I was like, I'm fine. And then I did that. I'm the worst.
You know what?
So, yeah.
You're a terrible person.
I'm a terrible person, but I didn't break a crime, all right? I didn't break
No crime. That's a hard question to answer because it's easier to think of all of the amazing stuff I've done when I've been drunk.
Give us a text of that. What's the most amazing thing you've done while drunk?
There's a video of it on my social media. My friend's hen do, which I organised. We went to a drag brunch, and they get you so drunk.
Yeah.
But that's because they give you such little food. It's emphasis on the drag,
yes,
and very little emphasis on the brunch. And they had like a little lip syncing contest.
Oh, really?
But it was like because there were two big hen parties. They sort of put us in competition.
Oh God.
You can go look at the performance. It's very, like, I'm very at one with my body.
Why don't we just give Ewan, who edits the video, some work? Ewan, edit that in now, please. There we go.
Put it in. But it's specifically just the bit where I drop into the splits.
Oh, cool. Here it is, right.
And then I do a headstand.
Oh, well, we got to see the headstand as well. Wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Or it's just text where Ewan says, fuck off. It's one or the other. That's very cool. That's a very cool thing to go to. It's like a drag brunch. Imagine like the effort of hosting two hens rivalry between each other. I imagine there was a certain part of your head that was just like, I'm really impressed with how these.
No offense to the other hen group that was there, but I don't know why they came to a drag brunch and then seemed annoyed that there were drag artists performing at the drag brunch. We loved everything that the drag artists did. And we just wanted more and more of it. Yeah. And then by the end, they were like, get on stage with us, sing a song. And it was like, it's the best time ever.
Of course.
Eventually, they got drunk enough to enjoy it. But I was just like, why are you here for this?
Yeah.
You obviously don't like it.
Yeah.
It's the same when they come to like the comedy shows.
And the arms crossed.
And I go like, I don't know who in your group planned this, but you obviously hate this.
People will come to comedy shows and will sit there specifically with their head of like, sure, everyone else in the room is laughing and having a great time, but I want to fucking hate this, and I'm going to.
Just because everyone else is having a good time doesn't mean I have to.
Yeah. It's contrarians, I guess, but it's nice to know that, obviously, I don't want it to happen, but it's nice to know it happens to other people outside of comedy, that it's a thing that people still do everywhere.
Lots of entertainers, yeah.
How dare they?
Priests.
Priests? Oh, do you think priests get furious?
Just like when they're like really giving it in mass, like when they're really serving Christ, and then people just are just kind of like,
and you can tell because there's one person who's just praying the whole show, just like,
just sort of rolling their eyes, being like, ugh, Leviticus again.
Amen, I guess. So the other thing that we do on the show, well done, first of all, well done on the cup flip, thank you very much. And
but I didn't win.
You didn't win, but you played a good game.
I think you'll watch it back and see that I didn't. Sometimes I hit the cup and it didn't go anywhere.
Well, I very much look forward to you getting messages on Twitter from listeners of the show going, so what the fuck was that story? That's going to be the next thing. So we have a thing we do here where our previous guest leaves questions for our next guest.
Lovely.
Our guest last week was the wonderful Joe Sutherland, and Joe has sent in a video. But before we get to that, we have a new game we've been playing where comedians, as you might know, you ask them to do something, and there's a real chance of whether they'll do it instantly or a week or never. So what we want to know is, how long do you think it took Joe Sutherland, after Joe got the email asking for the clip, how long before Joe sent the clip in?
Do you have to pre-record it?
You have to pre-record it and send it in. So
anytime I've been asked to do that stuff, I always put it off because I find it so awkward. I'm assuming not never.
So it's between last week and today. So not never. Okay. She said not never. We have got the footage, but it would be incredible if we didn't get it one time and someone had to guess and just came up on the screen. Never.
Well, he was here last weekend.
Last weekend was here. So was it recorded, after being sent the email, was it recorded immediately? Was it 2 days, 3 days? Was it this morning? Give us days. Give it to us in days.
He seems responsible and punctual.
Okay.
I'll say 2 days.
2 days. Okay. So we're going to watch the clip and then we'll come back and we'll get the answer for that. So here's the clip from Joe Sutherland.
Hi, it's me, Joe Sutherland from the internet. Your 3 questions, Sam, are: first, in a fight to the death with Taylor Swift, which member of Girls Aloud are you sending into the ring?
Love that question.
Second is, if you had to be a flavour of crisps, which would it be and why? And third is, which animal would you marry in the biblical sense if you absolutely had to? Okay, thanks, bye.
Thank you, Joe. Thank Joe Sutherland.
Love that.
I should point out part of that first question. So Joe's first question was, who would you pick to, let's see, if in a fight to the death with Taylor Swift, which member of Girls Aloud are you sending into the ring? So last week we were doing the shows against Taylor Swift, and Joe, after every gig, had to go back to Glasgow. On the way back to Glasgow, would bump into all the fans coming from
The
Girls
Swifties.
Aloud. So it was like in the middle of the Swifties and the Girls Aloud fans.
I happened to be in Glasgow seeing Girls Aloud.
Oh,
So that's fun. Little coincidence.
which member would you go for then?
See, initially I thought Cheryl. You go with the one who already has a criminal assault charge for battering a girl in a nightclub. And I will just say that watching her do the interviews and the band doing the interviews after that happened, so much fun.
Oh my God.
So much fun. And the way that they're all just going like, no, actually, like, it's actually really brought us together as a band. I wish she beat up more people. It's very interesting. What a time.
Was Nadine in Girls Aloud?
She was. She remembered her passport.
Oh my God. You know about the passport? This is my favorite thing in the whole world.
Do I know about the passport?
Oh my God, I love the passport situation.
My passport's in Derry. What do I do?
Oh no. What age did I say I was?
What date of birth did I give you? 15th of the 6th.
Did I say 1989 or did I say 1980?
Nadine, yesterday.
No, I wouldn't lie.
I gave you the wrong date of birth. I said something like 1987. And they were like, Nadine, that would make you 14. You've gone the wrong way.
Gone the wrong way.
No, what's your date of birth? 83.
Yeah.
Bless her.
Nadine, do you have a passport to prove what age you are? Oh, my daddy's got it up in Belfast, but he's going to drive down with it.
Yeah.
Oh, my daddy has disappeared.
Linda Martin sat on the floor.
Yeah.
Just being like, if I have to lose you from the band. And she's like, look how far she's fallen since winning Eurovision, I think.
So this was the Irish version of like Superstars or whatever it was called.
Popstar. In the UK, we got Hearsay out of it.
Yeah.
In Ireland, you got the band Six.
And there was only 5 members because she got kicked out. Nadine got kicked out. It was insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, she lied about what age she was, and it became a whole drama-filled thing. But it was just amazing watching. If you can see the footage online, it's just Nadine talking to the cameras going, oh, what? Like the worst line ever. Like, what did I say?
And it's the kind of thing, if she just carried on talking and act like it was nothing, she might have got away with it. But it's the fact that she immediately stopped and went, 15th of the 6th, making me a Gemini. What date of birth did I just give you? 15th of the 6th. And if she hadn't done that, and then in the show they fade to black immediately. It's so dramatic. It's wonderful,
and it's so wild.
Anyway,
yes, who would you send in to fight?
I would have said Cheryl, but I think Cheryl's gotten slightly more reserved.
She'd be less
in
likely
later
to hit
years.
someone now.
So if it was like when Girls Aloud first started, Cheryl.
Sure.
If it's Girls Aloud now, maybe Kimberly?
Yeah.
I could see Kimberly, throwing a good punch.
But also being like, oh, my brand is too nice. Maybe I'm gonna throw something out there where I've got a dark side. I've got violence.
Yes, it's like a rebranding.
Yeah.
She wants to have a bit of edge,
and
she
also
punches Taylor Swift.
Seeing how it worked for Cheryl, she's like, I'm going straight for the eyes.
Cheryl
like
got
this.
away with it, so like,
there's no
why
rules.
not?
Turns out girls are allowed to do whatever they want.
Girls are allowed to do whatever they want, even if it's illegal.
Yes, that's fair. Okay, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. We've got Joe's second question, which was, if you had to be a flavour of crisps, which would it be and why? It feels like it's a silly question, but it's tough.
Because I think the instinct is to say what your favourite crisp is. And I think for me that would be a Doritos chili heatwave.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if that's me as a person, because I don't think I resemble chili, and not just because I have IBS. I think I'd be a gentler flavour, but not ready salted.
You can't wake up every day and be chili heatwave.
Do you know what? Humble salt and vinegar.
Yeah, salt and vinegar's good. It's classic. It works. Every time I have a salt and vinegar crisps, I feel like, oh, it felt like I had a conversation. It's just like your comedy. I had a conversation with that pack
I
of
felt
salt
like I
and vinegar.
talked to a bag of crisps.
I would go for Tato barbecue only because they've whatever chemicals they used to make them, the EU has said they're now illegal and they're going to ban them. I think they're going to ban these crisps in
Really?
Ireland. So the smoky bacon crisps that are left, the smoky bacon crisps Tato that exist in the world are the only ones that will ever exist anymore. They're on their way out.
You've just reminded me about Frazzles.
Yes, Frazzles are good.
Frazzles, and then those bright orange onion ring ones that you can get.
Yeah.
That you normally have at a summer buffet.
There's Tato ones called waffles, and they feel too classy for me to. How dare I even bring them up on this podcast?
You hear
They're too
waffle and
classy.
you think elegance.
Yeah. Madam, would you like your morning waffle? But yeah, I would if anyone's out there and you haven't tried Tato smoky bacon, get them before they're gone.
Get them. Is that the slogan?
Yeah, that's what they. We didn't understand it before, but now
Yeah, you get it.
Now they're
Now you get
illegal.
it.
We understand. A real opportunity for you to do a podcast now called "Let's Have a Packet of Crisps" and talk about our fears. There
Maybe
you go.
when we've run out of drinks, we'll switch it to light snacks.
That's season 2. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, and question number 3 was, which animal would you marry in the biblical sense if you absolutely had to? All right.
I assume when Joe said biblical sense, he meant you marry the man, have full penetrative sex.
Full penetrative sex, it seems like. Because otherwise, it's like you have it, the dog moves in with you, you feed it, take care of it, and love it. That's just owning a dog.
Yeah. And you don't fuck the dog.
Yes. You
No.
don't.
Have to be, and like and this isn't like we're living in a world where I guess that's allowed, like in Family Guy where like lots of women have had sex with Brian the dog,
Yes.
and only occasionally does someone go like, why are you having sex
Why
with a
is
dog?
that dog?
Maybe a panda.
A panda.
Yeah, because then
Almost no sex because they hardly ever do it.
well, see, there you go, a little
Yeah.
loophole. And also, if we live in a world, if this is happening in a world where through marriage we can also reproduce,
Okay.
I am helping repopulate
Oh,
an endangered species.
okay. I'm just imagining a panda with a mustache now. It's adorable. It's very cute. A panda. All right.
Yeah.
It's not very sexy.
You haven't seen the panda I'm marrying.
You've a panda in mind. Ewan put in a picture of Xiaoling from the San Diego.
Sexy panda, please.
Oh God, yeah. I always just remember that clip of a panda where it's like baby sneezes and it goes.
Oh,
"Bleh,
classic.
bleh."
The good old days of the internet.
That was nice.
It was a nice time.
You'd see that, and maybe you'd try and download an album and accidentally see that video of a man getting shagged to death by a horse. But that was rare.
What do you mean accidentally see that video?
It always came through as you're like, I thought this was the
So-
first episode of Lost.
So many times, the first episode of, oh, well,
And I was like, what a
Deleted
brave
scene.
new pilot this is.
I did computer science at uni.
Yeah.
And so, some of those boys, because they were
Oh,
mostly
yeah.
boys, they were into some weird stuff like the 4chan,
Yeah.
and like the dark web,
Yeah.
but like the actual dark web,
Oh.
like the Tor browser and stuff,
Yeah.
And someone needed to send me like some like lecture notes or something, and they were just like, oh, I can just like Bluetooth it to you or something. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't know you could do that, but you can open up the channel so like anyone can send you anything.
Yeah.
So they would send me like very graphic photos of like things
Oh.
that maybe some people maybe in the past have done to get tickets to see Leona Lewis,
Oh.
but like just odd things,
Yeah.
odd things that you'd have to type in some very specific keywords to see.
Yeah, because I remember being younger, there was a website called rotten.com, and it was just horrific images. That was like early days of the internet. That was late 90s, and you would just type
Oh,
it in, and it would just
wow.
be like a guy who flew off his motorcycle, landed on his face, and was alive, but his face was bled. And it was just like,
yeah.
people would just send that to people, and you'd go, ugh, what
Rough.
is this? Rough stuff.
Yeah.
But it was just on a website that anyone could look at. This
Anyone
was
could look at.
pre-4chan and dark web.
Did you ever go on Wikipedia?
I think that probably came after that rotten
Yeah,
website.
yeah.
Which, no, thank you.
It
No,
was
thank
supposed to be like very funny jokes, but with dark humor.
Yeah.
But every joke was just like, I was driving a bus and then I ran over a toddler, and that would be the end of the joke.
Yeah, it was what's that trolley test where it's like, where you have to choose between a toddler on the tracks or 3 people tied to the tracks. Like, which way does it go? And that website was very much like, you run over the toddler first, then come back and run over the other 3.
Yeah,
You're like, that's not the test.
Yeah,
that is not the test. Okay, I was not expecting such a quick answer with Panda. We really got there real quick with Panda as your choice.
Again, I don't want to say that I thought about it, but like when you remove it's Panda. No further questions.
I'm imagining in your head right now, you lift up a veil. I feel like the panda's gone for the veil because the white with the color of the panda, it's gonna really pop.
I don't know if either of us are the bride. Is it a lady panda? I suppose it would have to be if we're reproducing.
If we're doing the biblical way, I suppose, because of the bloody Bible and its horridness to Cookie Monster, we have to accept
if it's the true biblical sense, then I could have many wives.
True. Okay, let's start filling up Sam's fuck arc. 2 of every animal. 1 to shag, 1 to talk to.
1 to shag, 1 to talk to. Yeah, lovely. Sorry, Claire just winked at me.
Yeah. And on that horrible note, everybody, we have reached the end of the podcast. Is there anything coming up that you would like to pitch or tell people about or let people know coming up in the next future, whether it's shows or tours?
Yes, I am getting married to a lovely panda. Before you ask, yes, she's already pregnant. No, I am. I have my own podcast here at Monkey Barrel called "I've Had a Rosé. Let's Talk About Feelings." Have a listen of that.
There's also an episode that I'm on.
You can listen to George's episode, which was very nice and fun. If you like Club Orange and if you like horror. What?
We've just remembered.
There's another bit of the show, isn't there?
There's a little bit of the show that we forgot because it's a new bit of the show. Your time for Joe, how long? We never did Joe's time. Yes, I'm aware of that.
Time.
So how long do you think Joe took to send in
2
that
days.
Video? You said 2 days. And the answer is...
I asked him at 12:23 p.m. on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And he sent it 5 days and 46 minutes later.
Oh.
Today at 1:09.
So it's today?
Fair enough.
Okay, we're going to start putting a board up and we're going to start putting up how long it takes people. So give us an interesting one. You can take 1 second.
Busy?
Yeah.
He's got stuff to do.
Yeah, of course. We're not shaming people. We're just putting up a little list to see. Just an interesting thing over time. And also, listen, you can't be ashamed after saying you'd marry a panda.
It's a loving relationship that is not
I
real.
don't get it, but
I
then
have a human husband.
I go along and I meet you in the panda and I go, you know what? Fuck it, they're great together. So if you enjoyed this week's episode, please check out Sam's wonderful podcast. You're also going to be doing The Fringe.
I'm going to be doing The Fringe with a show called Sam Esmeralda.
Check
How
it
else
out.
would you say it? It's called Esmeralda. It's about my mum and Spain.
And you've got a great arch on the poster as well. You've got your back arch on the poster. I saw you asking people what you do. It's very good. I know what I'm talking about.
There is, yeah. If you like arching, I don't really do that in the show yet. Maybe. If you're a fit panda.
Well, if you enjoyed the show, please share it around, like it, leave reviews online. It helps us out massively. If you want to see live comedy, I'm hosting the Monkey Barrel comedy show every 5 p.m. Every 5 p.m.
Every
Saturday at 5 p.m. I'm hosting the Monkey Barrel Comedy Big Show. We'd love to see you there. And if you want to see me a little bit more often, I stream on twitch.tv/Fox Comedy every Sunday to Thursday, 10:30 p.m. till late. This week, I had to end up dressing up as Mario.
I saw that.
In a skin-tight leotard, and I couldn't stand up because you could see everything.
Why was it skin tight?
I bought the cheapest one on Amazon. It was £12. And somebody said in the reviews, I put it on and it disintegrated before I put my coat on to go to a party. So it's pretty bad. But thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week. And from our wonderful guests, have a great time. Bye.
Yes, have a great time.
He said, I didn't say it. Sam said.
And I mean it.
Bye.
There's something hiding under the ice, imitation of a sound. There's something standing behind the door. Would you like